today's video, we're going to learn two valuable lessons that we all probably knew. Just because new streamer and YouTuber gear comes out doesn't mean it's better than the already existing shit you already own. And secondly, software limitations can greatly hinder an otherwise pretty sick-ass piece of hardware. I've been using my trusty steed, the Stream Deck 32 Key XL, for years since that bad boy dropped. Recently saw the Plus was released. As soon as I saw the knobs and touchscreen, I got a little stimulated thinking, ooh, this is the next piece of the puzzle, the next version or iteration of the Stream Deck. Looks like a fat upgrade, so I picked it up to test it out. Here's my thoughts. As for the packaging, included accessories on Elgato's Stream Deck Plus. It tells you, hey, you're going to be streamlining your setup, and you're probably also going to be streaming with this device in your setup. Now, this should in essence be an upgrade over my 32-key Stream Deck XL, which I've been rocking for, well, since the bad boy dropped, as this is a much newer device that has some pretty slick features, such as a swipe/touchscreen pad and 4 knobs or dials. Going from 32 to 8 buttons is a huge deficit. However, you actually have 4 additional buttons as each one of these knobs clicks in, and you can quickly swipe on this touchscreen and it will change the logos and functions of these buttons as well. I don't know how to read, so I don't have the luxury, but if you wanted to pause to read some of the key features of this box, you may do so now. 2 wafer stickers, 1 top and 1 bottom that will need sliced. Box lifts up from the top, very slow and cinematic because there's a lot of air trapped up in there. The Elgato logo is actually cut out. Love to see that. Also a couple cutouts for your fingers to get in. I like that as well. There's knobs peeking through. There's going to be some documentation in here. Don't throw this out. Little cloth sheeter divider. Holy shit, that looks sick. This does come in black as well, but this white and black two-tone, super supremely sick. As you can see, that's kind of the Stormtrooper two-tone theme we got going on here with this setup, and that is going to blend in beautifully. And then behind the actual device, you are going to have your USB-C cable, which is braided white. Pretty gosh darn short though, at about 6 feet. No dust covers on the USB-A or C end. It's too goddamn short. So if you're trying to do any kind of cable management under your desk through some cableways, this is too goddamn short. You're going to have to use your own USB-C cable, which luckily you can because this isn't proprietary, so you can BYOC. Now I'm going to be doing a tutorial style video in the near future, probably titled something like don't waste your money on a Steam Deck, or get your monies out of your Steam Deck, or learn how to use a Steam Deck not like a big idiot, or something like that. There's already existing Steam Deck tutorials on YouTube. However, this is going to take a very different approach, and even if you don't give a damn about the Steam Deck, you should probably still watch it to tickle your funny bone and stimulate you in the gamer nether regions. Other than the deck, the USB-C cable that's too short, Elgato, you know better than that. You have your safety or regulatory information that needs to ship with all consumer electronic items, letting you know not to choke your buddy out with the USB-C cable or to chuck this at your mom's head. As for the quick start guide, pages 3 to 9 are going to be in English, and it's actually pretty good. You have these large or oversized pictures, good font, easy to read, and it's actually very instructive and walks you through the setup process. So it does exactly what an instruction manual should do. It's crazy I get excited about that, but you should see the state of instruction manuals nowadays. Cosmetically, I think this device looks insanely slick with this matte white and then these gloss black buttons, which I will say are going to collect fingerprints, but that's not a huge deal. And if you're used to an existing Stream Deck, that's something you're used to. Then you have this touchscreen here, and what I've been looking forward to getting my fingers on is these knobs. Okay, that's what I was interested in. You do have distinct notches or steps as you rotate this dial. Also a good resistance to it as well. And they are metal. Actually, I can't tell if it's faux metal or if this is real metal, but they do feel pretty chunky in the hand. And they do have a little bit of stippling or texture on the side to get some grip. They do click as well, which is insanely important. Honestly, that was kind of going to be a deal breaker. If these didn't click in because these are acting as 4 additional buttons, that would kind of suck because I'm probably going to use these to turn my lights up and down and then click them in to turn them on and off. Also, it is quite a bit lighter than the XL. You do have a protective cover, which you need to remove at the bottom. Ooh, that is sticky. It's like Ferrari tires. You have this nice large rubber pad, which will keep it from sliding around on your desk. Does a pretty good job. So for me, as I already have a Stream Deck XL, this literally should be plug and play because I already have the software installed. But one very important note that's mentioned immediately in the instruction manual is not to use a USB hub. For example, I have this pretty cheap and kick-ass one from Anker, which gives you 4 USB 3.0 ports, but this isn't a powered adapter. This is just powered off the USB port from your PC, and it is not going to be able to pass through enough juice for a Stream Deck, so just don't attempt it. So this is super awesome. I didn't expect this, but it's offering, since I already have a Steam Deck connected, to transfer over my profiles, which I do not want to do. I want to set this up as a separate device, but that's so cool that Elgato assumes there's weirdos, wackadoos like me that are going to have 2 of these devices, which technically you don't even really need 1 because you can do a lot of the stuff from just a keyboard. It's not as smooth and streamlined of an experience, but there's people that want to have 2 of them and you can just copy over your shit. So I really like the way the Elgato Stream Deck software handles this. If you have multiple devices, you could even have more than 2. You could have several Stream Decks, you rich bastard, but I have my XL and my Plus over here, and you have individual profiles for each. This is what's not really cool. When you click on these little knobs or dials, they are savagely limited as to what you can do. The only functions are these that I'm expanding right now. And keep in mind, if you have a Go XLR or some kind of an audio interface with sliders or faders, then you're not going to be using these little dials to control your audio because you already have a mixer. And why I say you wouldn't be using those knobs for any kind of audio control on your desktop, it's not like I'm trying to act like some kind of superior elitist because I have a USB mixer or anything like that, but because there is no software that exists for that. All those devices such as Beacon or the Elgato Wavelink, those all have a driver set that take full control of your sound sources for your desktop, so you can control things like Discord or your music in the background on Spotify or that YouTube video you're watching on stream or your gameplay or even your mic output. And you can't do any of that with these knobs, so it's not like a direct replacement for a mixer. However, it was never advertised as such. It's more of a streaming device. There are all-in-one streaming devices that are now implementing Stream Deck-like features, but also an audio interface as well, and this ain't that. And as far as dialing in lights, color, brightness, temperature with dials, you're never going to do that because you're going to set up your lights probably 1 time and you're going to keep them at that setting. You don't really need fine-tuned tweakage on the fly of your lights. But as you can see, when you click on these buttons, you have a ton of other things that you can do. And the second thing that I just genuinely despise is the fact that this touchscreen is going to be permanently associated with the knob or dial below it. So it's not like a separate function or feature. It's going to be displaying data for whatever you have selected on these knobs, and it's also going to work as a slide or swap between different pages, which currently I have 2 here. Physically, I do like the fact that the buttons are large, oversized versus a typical Steam Deck. However, if they could have made the buttons smaller, the same size as a typical Steam Deck, and then added more of these buttons to where you have the 15 that the regular Steam Deck comes with, that would be a huge W. Because as it is, I'm telling you right now, despite the fact you can swap between those pages, it does feel like a limitation only having 8 physical buttons. Considering those knobs or dials, you're not really going to be able to use those as dedicated buttons for everything that you would use buttons for. There's a very specific amount of apps that work with those knobs. The next little con or gripe I have is how the sucker sits on my desk due to my mouse pad, where it just rocks back and forth, as where the Steam Deck XL is shorter, it's a little stubby device, so it seems to be more planted on my desk, as where the Steam Deck Plus is literally wobbly and wiggly because it's sitting on the edge of my mouse pad. Yes, I can move it forward or backward, but where I have it is where I'd like it on my desk, and I can't do that.
Tell us about it.
I'm just going to get the bottom line up front right out of the way for you. I do not consider the Steam Deck Plus to be a replacement for the 15 key or 32 key Steam Deck XL, and I don't believe that anybody should be buying the 6 key Steam Deck Mini, as that thing is completely pointless, because for a fraction of the price you can get yourself a little mini keyboard that has 6 unbranded keys and it'll work with OBS and similar applications. And also, if you're on a budget, you can just install an application for free on your phone that basically gives you Steam Deck features. As far as the real nitty-gritty hardware, the dedicated streamer and YouTuber hardware on your desk, a typical Stream Deck or Stream Deck XL, in my opinion, has savagely more functionality than the Plus, because those knobs, yeah, they feel cool, great resistance, you can click them in, they're only usable for like 5 or 6 things. That touchscreen, really slick way to get between pages, but you can't really add additional functions to that touchscreen because it's just going to display the data of what's associated with the knobs. And it really does just seem like this isn't necessarily a cash grab, but this is just the next product in development for Elgato. It's not necessarily better. In fact, I don't think it's better at all versus a typical Steam Deck. It has more shit on it. It has knobs and a touchscreen. Cool, but in actual use case scenario, in practice, you're going to have better luck with the Stream Deck or Stream Deck XL, which since they've been out for quite a while, in fact, there's even a Mark II or version 2 of the Steam Deck, the OG versions are being seen on sale. Having said that, this is a cool device, and I think it would work in conjunction with the Steam Deck because it's not a plus, it's kind of a minus in comparison to a regular Stream Deck, in my opinion. But that opinion would be completely different different, and this would be a solid recommend if there were more buttons instead of 8, maybe 15, like a typical Stream Deck, and you could do more shit with those knobs instead of just having them dedicated to like 5 functions, which I don't really care about, and I think most streamers and YouTubers won't either. The Stream Deck Plus is the coolest and newest version of the Stream Deck. I still personally like the XL and the standard Stream Deck. Having those buttons I think is more of a use, but with future updates, I'm sure more functionality will be available for those knobs and dials, especially as third-party app developers get involved and start adding things on the little Stream Deck app store. But in the meantime, me personally, I am going to be sticking to my Stream Deck XL. I'm saying nay to the Stream Deck Plus for now. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at GamerHeaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of GamerHeaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting GamerHeaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.